always been a leader. Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Susan B. Anthony, in their fight for women's suffrage. The NAACP starting an organization to fight for rights of people who for many years were discriminated against and still today suffer. New York is a place for fighting for immigration rights, workers' rights, and for gay rights. Our state has always stood up for individual freedoms. In keeping with that proud tradition, I do believe, and I agree with the governor, that New York State should become the next state to permit same-sex marriages. As I've said before, I don't think the government should be in the business of telling us who we can and who we can't marry. Different religions have different ideas on what constitutes a marriage, and each of us may have our own personal beliefs on what marriage means. And these obviously can be strongly held convictions, and we're not asking anyone to change them or to behave in any way that is inconsistent with their beliefs. But I strongly believe that it's not the state's place to define marriage in a way that excludes a segment of the population from the legal benefits associated with marriage, and that's exactly why we are here today. I'm pleased to hear the governor declaring his support for marriage equality. It is clear, I think, that the tide is turning and support is mounting. Many New Yorkers have been waiting a long time for the state to take up the issue of marriage equality. And while we've been waiting, New York City, I'm happy to say, has not been standing on the sidelines. We've taken a number of important steps, those that we can, those that are up to us as a city to do, important steps to support same-sex marriage couples. In 2005, we adopted a new policy of recognizing equally all marriages and civil unions lawfully entered into the other other jurisdictions, like Massachusetts and Canada and other foreign nations, and now Vermont and Iowa. We did so to ensure that the same rights and benefits available to all married couples are available to all married couples. We're also convinced, we've also convinced our pension systems and the City University of New York to adopt similar policies. And just last month, I'm happy to say, the city's Board of Health unanimously voted to allow married lesbian couples to list both of their names on a birth certificate as soon as their children are born in New York City. Now, despite the progress that we've made, I think we all recognize that gay and lesbian couples are still denied many civil protections and benefits that married couples enjoy. And that's why marriage equality is so important. New Yorkers pride themselves on their ability to practice their individual freedoms. And that includes the right to say what you believe, to practice your own faith, and to love whomever you want. And it's time for this state to take the next step and ensure the rights of same-sex couples to marry whom they want. I share the governor's belief that marriage equality will happen here in New York State and throughout the nation, and I look forward to working with the state and the governor and the legislature in this legislative session. I'd also like to add that I've never believed that the state legislature should only debate and vote on legislation that they are 100% sure is going to pass. That is not democracy. We have to have a debate. We have to have a vote. We have to let people, or force people, particularly elected officials, to stand up and say explicitly on the record where they stand. That's what democracy is all about, and I think that's the best way to move forward, not just on this issue, but on all of the problems facing our country and our state and our city. I've always been willing to do so. I will continue to do that, and I have great admiration for the governor because he's doing exactly the same thing. Governor, congratulations.